Ladies and gentlemen, Google is coming after your ad blockers once again. They are continuing their crusade that they have been on for basically, well, pretty much ever since Chrome came out. But here we have a new update that actually hit me this morning. That's right, I woke up, I turned my computer, cup of coffee, half awake. I saw a pop-up on the corner of my Chrome browser that said, hey, we removed your uBlock origin because it's out of date. And I was like, wait, what? There's no way. So I looked it up, and apparently it has been reported by The Verge and many other places that Google Chrome's extension call hits more uBlock origin users. The article goes on to say Google is disabling the original uBlock origin ad blocker for more Chrome browser users alongside other extensions that are no longer supported as the browser migrates to its new extension specification, Manifest v3. Apparently today I was one of the more Chrome browser users, which is very unfortunate, and I opened it up on my MacBook as well, and the same exact notification popped up. So it's not like device specific. I guess they know that this is the same Wi-Fi, I'm logged in the same, they know it's me. Okay, anyway, according to Google, the new standard aims to improve privacy and security, but also removes a feature that some ad blocking extensions relied on to work, a compromise that Mozilla is unwilling to make for its own Firefox browser. Now, we're not going to go into whether or not Mozilla should make that compromise or not, but this is actually something that has been reported on for a very long time now. This is a long time coming. You can see here that Android Authority posted this on November 17th 2023. So over a year they've been talking about the Google Manifest v3 changes disabling uBlock origin on Chrome. So this is nothing new, but it is a slow rollout to more and more users, and it kind of sucks. Okay, it kind of sucks, but there are ways around it. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But it said users online are reporting on Reddit and X that, well, let's just be clear, it's Twitter. Stop with the X thing. Okay, it's Twitter, that Chrome is removing outdated extensions. In Chrome, a notification window will appear underneath the extensions tab on the browser taskbar with a message encouraging users to remove the impacted add-on, saying it has been turned off and is no longer supported. Two buttons are available that allow users to either quickly delete or manage their extensions. Google's uBlock origin phase out on Chromium based browsers began in October, and by the way, as we just showed, it's been happening for much longer than that. But Chromium based browsers include things like Opera and Microsoft Edge. Okay, those are both other browsers that are still Chromium based. They're kind of just a reskin of Google Chrome. All right, so those aren't safe either. Those are going to get they're going to get the same exact treatment here. Okay, Bleeping Computer also reported that extensions on staffers devices are being turned off, and Verge staffers have seen similar updates on our own machines. These changes come as Google migrates Chrome away from the now defunct Manifest v2 specification. Support is being killed not just for uBlock origin, but for any extension that hasn't or is unable to update to Manifest v3. I also was notified this morning that Better YouTube Gaming was blocked, or not blocked, but it falls under the same category of being no longer supported, which is weird because that basically just shows you, if you're familiar with Better TTV, it's an extension for your browser that lets you see all the different emotes on Twitch. Okay, so when people are live streaming, the chat is going and you can see a bunch of little Pepes and all sorts of other goofy stuff. Okay, Better YouTube Gaming was effectively the same thing, but for YouTube live streams, because everybody knows that the chat is horrible over there, and so I installed that to make it a little bit better. Apparently that is out of date as well now too, so I don't know what exactly is going on there, but I can confirm that this morning I did see other extensions, that one in specific, being also sort of phased out, I guess. Now, one of the solutions here is uBlock origin users can switch to uBlock origin Lite, which has more limited filtering capabilities than its predecessor due to Manifest v3's ad blocking restrictions. So this is of course one way to get around this. uBlock origin has seen this coming for many months now, over a year, and they've been working on another way to sort of block ads that uses their uBlock origin Lite extension, and it's just not as good apparently because functions are being removed, so of course it can't be as good. And it goes on to say Chrome won't be the only service affected by the Manifest v3 rollout. Other Chromium browsers, yeah, okay, so Edge and Brave, okay, so these are all other ones that are kind of following suit because they're all Chromium based. Mozilla says that Firefox will continue offering both extension specifications, however potentially giving uBlock origin users a new browser to relocate to. So it's a great time to move to Mozilla. Okay, Firefox used to be my goat. It used to be my favorite web browser ever, and I don't know what changed, but somewhere along the line I discovered that Chrome just worked better on my old computer. back in the day I had I had a really old laptop when I first started my main YouTube channel, and it would overheat a lot, and I had to prop it up, and the hinge was broken, and it was this whole thing. It was a whole setup. Okay, so it wasn't the greatest laptop in the world, but I found that Firefox just wasn't as good as Chrome at being effective and efficient, and so I switched over to the Chrome and never really looked back. But maybe this is the time to do so. Now, there is a temporary workaround to turning uBlock Origin back on. I'm not going to show it here in this video because I don't want to expose all of the extension data that I have on my browser, but effectively all you have to do in the top right corner of your web browser, there's going to be a little puzzle piece in the top toolbar. That is your extensions manager. You can click that, open up your extensions, and you'll find that uBlock Origin will say that it is no longer supported, but there will be a little box that you can check off, and it will effectively turn it from the off position to the on position. It looks like a little slider. You just slide it back on, and in the corner it will ask you, are you sure you want to turn this back on because it's not supported? You click yes or accept or whatever the button is, and then boom, uBlock Origin is turned back on. So they disabled it automatically for many users this morning or today, and it's very easy to simply turn it back on. But for how long this will be the case, who knows? We may have to be switching over to Mozilla Firefox or using the new uBlock Origin Lite. Now, I'm a bit conflicted here, right? Because I do believe that if there are security concerns with Manifest v2, then great, let's address that. v3 can address that. Amazing, right? That's super good. I'm not a computer programmer, I'm not a software engineer, I don't know any of the back end stuff with all this stuff. Okay, back in the day when I worked at Apple, I could take your computer apart into a million pieces and put it all back together. I could remove the logic board from your phone and the camera and the battery and everything like that and reassemble it. So I'm familiar with the hardware to an extent, although I'm a little bit outdated at this point, but don't really know any of the software stuff. Okay, so anyway, not that that really matters here. The point is that I don't know how much of this Manifest v3 is really being pushed for security and privacy concerns, as much as it's just being, that's kind of the Trojan horse, so to speak, for getting us to get rid of our ad blockers, right? Because obviously Google is in the business of ads, right? That's why they collect so much data on you and me and the consumer, is because they use that data to tailor fit advertisements to you, specifically the individual, not somebody like you, but literally you as a person, right? You can't get more niche down advertising than you can with Google AdWords. Like, it is the best ad platform in the world that is rivaled only by, you know, companies like Meta, right? Through Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp and all that sort of stuff, right? So the point is that Google is in the business of collecting your data for selling ads. They even own YouTube, which you're watching right now, and they show ads on YouTube. So like literally Google ads are like a majority of the ads that you see on the internet, and so it would make sense that they would combat anything that is sort of using their own browsers to affect their own business model, right? Like if every browser user, if every Chrome user had uBlock Origin and was effectively blocking ads, then Google would see a massive dip in their revenue and income, right? Obviously, of course, that's their whole business model. Well, not the whole thing, but it's a big portion of it. Okay, so it makes sense that Google would want to sort of handicap your ability to block ads from time to time, right? And this is effectively a cat and mouse game, right? Like Google is going to do its best to make sure that users see as many ads as possible, and users and the developers of things like uBlock Origin are going to try their hardest to circumvent the rules and to develop an extension or a platform or a way, a workaround effectively to not see ads. And it's always going to be like that. It's been like that throughout the history of the internet. It will continue to be like that. And right now things are shifting in the direction more of Google than I think they probably have in quite a while. That is from my experience as an internet user since the beginning of the internet, so to speak, or at least the modern internet. Okay, I know I look great for my age, but I'm actually 30. But regardless, I'm interested to see how this develops, because users are obviously not going to give up, right? If you've ever turned off your ad blocker and just tried to use the internet like a normal, just use the internet raw, okay, without protection, it is miserable, it's miserable, it's unusable, right? Like watching a YouTube video without an ad blocker or premium it's unbearable, right? It's every 3 minutes you see 2 minutes worth of ads or a minute worth of, it's crazy, right? It is crazy. And that goes for every website, every, blog, every news outlet. You go to the web page and there's ads on both sidebars, and there's ads in between the different blocks of text, and there's videos playing somewhere and there's audio, and then like even the background of the actual screen, there's an ad there that you see when you scroll by. Like the whole internet is ads, right? And it's only usable when you block all that stuff, right? And it's obviously a compensation because these websites need to make money, and as more and more users are blocking ads, they need to make more money from the few users that aren't blocking ads, right? And so they add more and more ads to those users' experiences, and we have what is the modern day internet. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how this develops. Obviously people are not just going to give up and watch ads. Some people will, right? And you know, if I'm being honest here, and this is a very unpopular opinion, and I know I'm going to get some backlash for this, I know it, right? But if I'm being honest, I think Google has the upper hand, and they are more likely to come out ahead in this battle between Google and the software developers who are making these different extensions and browsers and things like that. Google is a multi-trillion-dollar company, Alphabet, right? And they just have every incentive in the world to make sure that people see ads, and they're gonna do what's in their best interest, which is to have you see ads. Now I don't love that, right? I'm not a fan of ads, clearly, of course. I use uBlock Origin, and I encourage you to do so as well. The point is, they have a massive financial incentive to do so, whereas you, the user, don't really have that big of an incentive to block ads. You do have an incentive, and I recommend that you do it, but I'm saying you will not have an existential crisis if you see a few ads, whereas Google will definitely have an existential crisis if all their users block ads, right? So the risk reward there, like one of these two parties is literally fighting for survival, and the user is fighting for convenience. And when push comes to shove, like, I think Google's going to do everything in their power to make sure we see ads. So this is simply the latest development in that story, in that saga, and we'll see how things develop from here. But I was very interested to see that my uBlock Origin was turned off by Google this morning, and it just reminded me that that battle is still ongoing in the background, even though right now you can temporarily circumvent it. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments section below. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Do you still block ads? And if so, has uBlock Origin been affected by you? Do you use some other form of ad blocker? Let me know in the comments section below. While you're down there, consider subscribing to the channel. Most of you guys are not subscribed, so if you want to see more content like this, click the sub button and click the bell if you want to be notified the next time I upload a video. And go ahead and like the video too. It helps push this video out into the YouTube algorithm so other people might see it. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Omni. I will talk to you guys again soon. Peace.